Hello everyone, we've got a lot of lights on today because it is miserable outside. Literally it's like dark, it's windy, it's stormy, it's yucky. But we're gonna do some glam. I've got some new PR packages that I've just been opening up, a few from Colourpop, so I might just use some new stuff like that. And I'm also gonna try the double wear today with a sponge and also show you how I neutralize those yellow undertones a little bit, because I actually saw a lot of comments on my Estee Lauder double wear foundation review video. I'll link that below if you want to go watch it. People saying like the undertones were like quite off on a lot of the shades. So if your like perfect shade is a little bit too yellow, I'll show you what I do. I'm gonna prime with a little bit of my Natasha Denona, what is this? Serum primer stuff. It's kind of similar to like strobe cream. Like it just gives a nice glow to the skin and it's very, very hydrating and like kind of smooths and plumps my skin up before my foundation. So I really like it before like a full coverage because it just makes everything sit a little bit smoother on top. Makes my skin feel like juicy. I like the bronze one too, but I'm just gonna use this one today. I'm gonna let that settle into my skin because I just feel like concealer and stuff goes on so much nicer when it's not like too damp underneath. Like you want your skin to be like hydrated but not like freshly slick. That's what's been working the best for me lately. Now I have been loving for my brows this little concealer palette from Flower Nose, the Sweetie Bear collection one. I did a whole video on the Sweetie Bear collection. The packaging is unreal. Look at it. If you haven't seen the video, yeah, I'll link it below as well if you want to go watch it. But all of the collection has the cutest packaging and I have been really enjoying this actually. I'm gonna take, I don't even know, like I take a different one every time, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna take the peachy one and I just cover up my tattoo right here. Whoops, I'm doing this in the wrong step. I'm just gonna pause. I need to gel them first, what the heck? Looks like we're using the dark brown shade today. I can't find my taupe one. Wait, it's medium brown, not dark brown. So I push them up with my finger, flatten them with my finger, and then once they're flat, I come along the top and just shape. I feel like this one's running out a little bit. I'm not putting enough product in. I'll just load it up again. That's better. I need to buy some more of these, like replenish. Just like that. Do the same on this side. Guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram and TikTok, just so you know, I've been uploading so many like short form content videos. I still put some of them here on YouTube, but the thing about YouTube is it doesn't like the music and everything, obviously. You don't need to have an Instagram account or TikTok account to watch the videos, I don't think. You can like use a browser. Just letting you know, I've been doing so many videos, so many tutorials. I've been having so much fun with it. I film almost every single day. I kind of need to do like more YouTube videos, but the problem is like I talk so much that then it takes me like way too long to edit, upload, la 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 la. Right, now we can go in with the concealer. That's better. And it makes it much easier to just carve out that bottom line for me. I just accidentally used a brush with black in it underneath. Ooh, we're off to a good start, guys. And then less important, but I'm going to do a little bit over the top of my brows as well. Then in the front, I'm using this brow, what is this? Mighty Fine brow pen from Benefit. I squished mine in the lid, which is not ideal, so it's all bent, but I just add a few more. I did that really badly. Like that. You can do it much nicer. I usually would do it in a little mirror in front of me, like, but I'm trying to do it so that you can see, so now it's really bad. Anyway, it doesn't matter because we're just gonna tidy it up with the concealer brush again. And then if you get like any that are too, like any areas too dense, I just use a little spoolie to soften it a little and then carve. And then soon I'll just pat my sponge right over the inner to soften the inner because the color is a little bit too dark. Okay, We're going to try the double wear with a sponge now. I have my Ultra Soft sponge right here. It's nice and damp and squishy. So I probably used this a handful of times now, maybe 3 or 4 times. I do really like, I think it looks so good in pictures and in videos. The undertone does piss me off a little bit. Like I said, I'll show you how I fix it. Now I don't feel like getting judged today, so I'm not going to show you what I'm pouring my foundation out on, but let's just say I'm pouring it out on a surface. And this was just like on the lip. I should just buy a pump really, but I just don't want to. Out of principle. I'm using the side of the sponge. Oh, I haven't used a sponge in so long. For some reason, it makes me feel so nostalgic sometimes. And the smell of the double wear. Oh, what is happening? That was a little like serotonin boost just then. All right, I'm avoiding my under eye area because I don't want too much product under there. See, it's like the perfect color with my tan. Just a little bit too orangey, yellowy. Not orange, yellow. I wore a different tan to this tan as well in my what's it called video, the foundation first impression video. So even with this different tan, which I thought this one would be a bit better, I think this one's like Bondi Sands. And last time I was using Baddest Bod, I think it's called, which is like more reddish. But yeah, both of them don't match the foundation very well. So I think it's just the foundation is just like very yellow on me. If you have super yellow undertones and you struggle to find ones that have enough yellow in them, then double wear will be your girl. And this is coming from someone that does have like quite yellowy undertones, but it's just, yeah. I feel like on camera it looks even worse, but it is. It's definitely not quite right. I like it with the sponge. I actually, dare I say, I feel like I'm using less. I thought I'd use more because I thought the sponge would like soak up a lot. I'm just tapping the sponge over the starts of my brows too. I probably did too much there, but I'll touch it up later. Oh wow, I've got so much foundation left over now. I poured out like the same amount as normal. Yeah, I like this way, but it's actually applying on my nose really well as well. I'm gonna use just a slight thin little bit more just on my lower cheek. Blend it in, just focusing most of it down here. I've got so much product left over. Wonder if they just don't give you a pump so that you use way more so that like you have to repurchase it faster. Because that's what used to happen with my, what was that brand? Maybelline, was it Color Stay? Was it Maybelline? It was like my first ever like full coverage foundation. My auntie bought it for me and it was my obsession for years. It was like 40 bucks back in the day. Do you remember that? It was a lot for me when I was like at high school. Since I've got so much product, I'm applying some down on my chest just to try and match everything together slightly. Before I do my concealer and show you how I'm going to fix the color, I got sent some stuff from Clinique, so I might just use like a little bit of something. They sent this little PR package with some like lip chubby sticks, contour, highlight, and blush. Don't know if it's actually going to be right for today. Yeah, look, in my collection I already have this one. It's the exact same, but let's use a little bit of this. This is the Curvy Contour. I don't reach for this a lot. I haven't contoured a lot in the last few years, but the last like couple weeks I have been a little bit. I think now that I've like lost a little bit more weight, it doesn't look as like weird on me. I kind of do this shape here. Let's do a little bit on the nose as well. I feel like it is a bit more of like a bronzy color rather than a contour, to be honest. Or maybe I'll just use my sponge again. I'll use the other side that's like kind of clean and then just tap it and blend it upward. Yeah, to me this is like more of a bronze color. I'll show you how I've been contouring with powder in a bit. But for now, at least this is giving some nice like color and shape to the skin. Oh, I just like removed half my friggin' foundation. What the heck? Just going in with the other side of my sponge where I like had my foundation before. That's alright. Going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and it blends. This product, compared to like my Too Faced one or some of my other ones, this one definitely stays more where you put it, which can be good if you're trying to be more precise, but it means when you're blending it, like you don't really want to drag it because it kind of doesn't want to go anywhere. You just want to bounce up and down. And I think that's why I did that. I look like a zombie. Look at these under eyes. We'll just go in with the Huge. I'm just going to spread that out a little and then let it dry a little. Just kind of mapping it out where I want it. Whoa, it's so windy outside. It's like hectic as weather. And then I've got some product build up around the tube, just because I use this so often and I'm like opening and closing it. Like eventually they kind of get messy. All my others aren't, but I use this literally every day almost. So that stuff that's like a bit more dried out, I'm then gonna just go back over and put that on the lid. You know, I'm just going to use nice gentle tapping motions and blend that. Actually, I might even use my sponge under my eyes. I haven't done that in ages. This is an angled eye brush. I love it for concealer lately. I'm sure I have used this concealer with a sponge before, but it's just been that long. Oh, that looks so pretty. You know what? We're going to do an actual contour color. This one from ABH, it's called Shadow. And I kind of go down and then flick it down in that shape. I don't know. Drawing on a whole new cheekbone. Bounce, 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 bounce. Blend it extra good down the bottom. It's a little bit harsh still. I'm going to leave it though, because I'm going to let it marinate, you know, do its thing. Once we powder and then add other powders on top, it's all going to come together. Speaking of powder, so I love, love, love the mineral powders from Florasis, which is this brand here. It's a Chinese brand. This one's in peach, but there is a lilac one, and I can't find mine. It must be in one of my makeup bags. It's tinted very slightly lavender. Perfect for the effect we need, like to de-yellow, you know, color correct. De-yellow, you know what I mean. We've also got the loose version, so yeah. I just love the like baked one. I don't know, it just makes your skin look so perfect. I don't love a loose powder as much for all over my face, but we'll use some setting mist so it'll still look really nice and smooth. There's also the She Glam one, which is the one I used last time I tried this little hack. It's not really a hack, so I might use this one today. The packaging is really cool. It twists and then opens, you know, like that. And then it's got a little net and you can push your brush in there or sponge or whatever you're using. I'm going to do half my face so you can see the difference. In real life, I feel like it's so much more obvious. So you can really see on my forehead, it's just softened that like very yellow undertone without looking like dull or anything like that. Like the undertone's still there. We need it to still be there, but it's just not as harsh. This is obviously just for subtle correction. Like if you're not a yellow undertone, you have a yellow undertone foundation, like you're probably gonna have to mix in some kind of color correcting liquid into the foundation, but this is just nice just to like kind of finish off and just subtly change that undertone like once it's already kind of on, especially if like you just find some areas of your face look a little bit yellow even after you do your bronzer and all of that. On the other side, I'll do the She Glam one just so you can see for comparison. Whoops, I just put on way too much. All right, we'll just blend, blend, blend. I focus it mainly on like my lower jaw and forehead because through here we're going to have like a lot of blush and everything anyway. Before I use any setting mist, I'm going to set under my eyes a little. I'm actually going to use the pink She Glam too. So yeah, I like both of these. Just do a little set because I might use a heavier coating of powder later on when I do my finishing touches. And then I'm going to mist my face. I'm not going to focus it on my under eye area. I'm kind of going to go around the edges of my face. Some's going to get on there, which is fine, but I just don't want to concentrate it right under the eyes because the more matte my under eyes are, the better it conceals that shadow where I have like the sunken under eye. And I'm just using this Natio makeup setting spray. I've been really loving it, despite the fact it smells like a grandma's purse. It is really nice. Now, I don't know if I said, but I think we're doing cool tones today, because the newest palette that I got sent is like a grey palette, and I did do a really cool tone eye over on my Instagram, TikTok. Loved it so much, surprisingly, because I was doing it, I was like, I'm gonna hate my makeup today, but ended up literally feeling pretty good about it. I don't know if you can really see because the lights. I loved it, holy. So I'm not gonna copy the look, but I'm going to do similar colours but using what Colourpop's in. I do have a discount code with Colourpop. I think it's Shan10 if you want to use that. It's an affiliate code, so thank you for the support if you do. I have a couple of different collections in here. So this is the one I was talking about that's brand new. It is the Silver Lining collection. I also have some stuff from the Valentine's Day collection which I haven't even used yet. I think it was Valentine's Day anyway. Hard to Get. Is it the Hard to Get collection? Anyways, I don't know. I haven't even delved into it because I've just been busy doing other stuff, but I'm curious to see these shadow sticks too. Like, I feel like cool tones are really coming in. I mean, they've never left, but you know, I feel like warm tones were way more popular. Now people are like demanding like better cool tone stuff because lots of brands just do not do mini cool tones at all, especially when it comes to the lips. Look at these shadow sticks. All of the colors look really, really pretty. This one's called Try Harder. Ooh. Nice little contour type shade. This one's called Not Available. It's a metallic like taupe silver. Look at that. That's stunning. Then we have What Did I Miss? Which is another metallic, is it? Yeah, a little bit more like pinky undertones, but still quite cool. And then lastly, we have Keep Dreaming. Beautiful pink. It's not too warm. It's like quite a neutral type of pink, I'd say, like neutral mauve. Oh, my tummy is rumbling. And I'll just quickly show you the eyeshadow palettes so that we can kind of see what we're working with here. So this is the Silver Lining one, silver colors. I really like the look of these two matte shades here. And then there's some really nice like light silvery tones. And then this is the Hard to Get palette, which is absolutely beautiful. It's got some pinks and then also some cooler tones in there, which is really fun. So both of these palettes, I feel like they're screaming for cool tone looks, obviously. I'm going to start with the Try Harder shadow stick. And I don't really use these very often, so I don't know if I'm using this correctly. But I'm going to map this out in my crease like this. I don't know if this look's just going to end up looking similar to that look I showed you from my Instagram or not. I'm going to try and make it different, but also the vibes were so good on that look. So I might just do something kind of similar with these new products to see how they go. I don't know. Maybe I'll chuck some pink in there or something. I've been vibing pink lately. I mean, when am I not? But I've done a couple of pink looks lately too on my Insta. Pinky, purpley. Okay, once blended, it is much more subtle, but it kind of gave a nice little base. I think I'm going to start with this Maybe Next Time color right here with this round eye brush. I'm just tapping it on first. When I use these round eye brushes, like they are so good to diffuse colors, guys, but start by patting before you swipe. And it literally does half the work for you. It's basically like a contour, this color, which isn't a bad thing. I just get so wigged out because I'm so used to putting like, I don't know, just real warm colors in my crease. Now I'm going to take a little bit of On Your Mind. And I'm just going to kind of blend above the other color slightly. I like to go quite like high up towards my brow. Really use the lid space. I just feel like it looks so much more glam and like baddie. Now the inner corner is looking a little bit wild. I'm going to take this other round eye brush I have that doesn't have the grey on, and I'm just going to tap at it to buff it out a little. There we go. Magical. I'm just taking my concealer brush. I'm not adding more, but there is a little bit left over, and I'm just gonna literally use the smallest baby amount just to define that line again a little. And I'm going to go back in with that Maybe Next Time color. And I'm going to add a little bit more back in. Guys, this color is kind of screaming to me. This Sweet Talk. Oh my goodness. I feel like we need to use the other palette for a couple of steps though. Holy, I could just use this. I love this. Actually, I'd probably like this more than the Silver Lining palette because you have more options. These little palettes that they do, they're really good if you need like a certain color because it's like monochrome vibes. But like, you know what I mean? I do like a bit more versatility. The colors in this palette definitely have slightly more warmth to them than the others. They're more gray. But I mean, they're still not warm, just in comparison. Like these are much more gray. You can see the difference, like if I put those two side by side. So for someone like me that doesn't just want like a silver eye, this is a dream. Right, I'm gonna go in with this Glass Half Full color. It's like a medium to deep kind of just flat gray color. And I am going to go from half of my lid here, and I'm gonna build this out and then up towards the crease. So going on an angle like this. I'm going to imagine where my winged line is going to go and kind of go in that shape. And once we have it, I'm just going to give it a soft blend. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to do lots of layers. So we're making this look a bit different to my other one by doing this. To blend it, I'm actually going to use this little like jewel ended. This came out of a ABH palette. But it's like quite a soft, fluffy eyeshadow brush vibe. And I can just keep the color intensity where I need it. Good, good, good. Okay, now, I don't know, can I use this to cut a crease? Is it gonna work? I don't know if it's gonna crease or what. This is the shade Not Available. I'm just sweeping it over like that, halfway. I like to go above my natural crease because I just feel like it looks more slag. We may get creasing. Let's find out. I'm gonna use a little bit of that pink color because it just would be rude not to. Sweet Talk it's called. And I think it'll just add a little bit of interest because right now it's looking very like black and white movie. And this has like a purpley reflex, so it's still gonna be very cool toned. I'm gonna kind of apply it like this, like to the main, like, I don't know, I'm like avoiding like close to that horizontal line. Is that horizontal? It's diagonal, you know what I mean. I'm applying it right in like the top of the cut crease area of my lid. I don't think my brain's working today, what's going on? And then I really want to try this Booked and Busy color because it just looks so chunky and amazing. It's like a chunky glittery color. Oh my god, I thought I wasn't filming. My heart. And I'm going to tap that right on this part of my lid here. Oh my god, it's amazing. I probably should have done my eye makeup before my base today, but that's alright. Overlapping the dark grey. So you can kind of see it peeking through underneath. Literally, that is gorgeous. Okay. On my brow bone, let's just go in with Bright Side. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I'm going to use the same brush that I used for the pink. I don't think it's going to matter. It's almost like a top coat. But this works well because I've got that light concealer there anyway. There's like a little bit of like a bluey reflect in this as well. It's super glittery. Back into this palette, I'm just going to take a slight tiny bit of Maybe Next Time mixed with this Who Is This, which is a little bit lighter. We haven't used that shade yet. What is this brush doing? And I'm just going to flick a little bit of that just up into that brow bone highlight just to clean everything up. I love these colors. What the heck? I like cool tones now. What? Now I'm going to go in with Back At It, which is a little bit warmer. It's still cool, but it's a little bit warmer than the color that we used for that big wing before. And I'm going to just intensify it a little. I just feel like always using two colors instead of one just makes the finished product look so much better and gives it way more depth no matter what. Now that looks very dramatic, I know. I'm going to take my round eye brush. It is dramatic. We're going to soften it. I'm patting on top of it at the end here, like where it's closer to my brow. What is this eyebrow doing, by the way? It's like bent down. Then let's do a quick touch up. This is shade N4. Blend that out. I chose the shade N4 because it matches my skin tone a little bit better without brightening too much, because I want it to easily blend with the rest of my foundation and not look like a big pale line under my eye makeup. I'm going to take more of that shadow right here, just whatever's left on my brush. This is the dark grey colour that we used from the little silver palette. And then I'm going to connect the lines. And then I'm going to take... man, that pinky purpley colour is cool. It looks so much more purple actually on the eye than it does in the pan. In the pan it looks super pink to me. Look at that. I'm going to take a little tiny wee bit of Maybe Next Time. And I've been liking doing like a little inner corner bit here like this. Makes my eye shape look a little bit less round, which is fun. I'm going to take a little bit of this Who Is This colour, the light kind of silvery taupey colour. I'm just going to see what this looks like if I blend that on the edge. Yeah, that looks cool. On the edge of that dark wing colour. I'm using a little pencil brush. And then with that same pencil brush, once I know that I'm finished with that colour, I'm going to take New Era, which is basically a black. It's like a super dark charcoaly grey, but it essentially looks black. Maybe it is black. Who knows? I'm wriggling that right in that lash line. And then you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of Glass Half Full, which is that colour that's like the colour we did for the big wing. Just a little bit darker grey. and I'm gonna deepen that inner color I've got on. And then unfortunately, you guys are gonna have to watch me use this again. I don't know why that's unfortunately, but I'm just saying that. This is Quiet Storm by Danessa Myricks, and it is so fun. And if you're getting into cool tones, grays, silvers, whatever, you need this in your life. It is amazing. It looks so cool as eyeliner. That's what I used in that other video. You can go watch the whole tutorial over on my IG. I'm using this little brush and I'm gonna paint this on my waterline. It does stay pretty well once it's dry. And I'm like really pushing it into my lash line so that the lash line itself is quite dark and it's not just like sitting on the waterline, you know? I'm running the teeniest, tiniest bit up on my top lash line on the inner corner. Those colors are so cool. Got this squishy brush from Huda Beauty. See this little like silicone tip? I'm just gonna go back in with Sweet Talk and see if I can like pack some on. Finger would be great, but I just obviously don't want to like smear it everywhere. If I use my fingers with my long nails, it's gonna be hard to like get it where I want it. Fun! Okay, I think we're pretty much done. First mascara grabbed, because I'm gonna put on falsies. This is the XL Tubing Mascara from Tarte. And then I'm gonna go pee and grab some lashes. I am busting. I've drank so much water this morning. I'm proud of myself. And a coffee. You know, I'm just a girl. It's just me and my sugar-free vanilla syrup against the world. I actually prefer the normal tubing mascara to this one. I feel like this one makes my lashes look very like too separated. You know when it looks like strange? Right, I just went and took one of each lash. These are all cluster lashes. Grace, Euphoria, Charm, Allure. I want something with a bit of drama. Allure and Charm are probably the most like natural, but still give you like that edge. And then Grace and Euphoria a little bit longer. I might use Grace and then maybe a couple of the others as well. I really like that Hard to Get palette. I hope you can still get it. I don't know when it came out. Take the lash. This is the center one. I always start at the center of my eye at the moment. And then you want to glue on top. So if it's curled up, you're gluing like on the top surface. You don't have to apply them this way. This is just how I've been doing my lashes lately. I think it looks way more clean. And then I'm gonna open my eyes, tilt my head back slightly. Use two hands if you need to. You don't want like right on top of your waterline, just like at the very base of your lashes. If you put it like onto your waterline, you're gonna dry out your eyes. It might feel a little bit irritated. It might feel a little bit like uncomfortable. So aim for the base of the lash. And then usually if I have a brain for the day, depends on my brain power, I go 1 for 1 on each side, like each eye. Because otherwise sometimes I forget what I put where. With these lashes it doesn't matter so much because it's kind of laid out for you, but sometimes if I'm using like individuals and things I like kind of forget and then both my eyes are different, but no one can really tell. A tip as well, if you find your lashes stick to your tweezers when you're putting them on, just put a very, 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 very light dusting of powder over your tweezers. Game changer. Pretty. And then kind of push them up, get that lift. And I'm using my lash application tweezer, which sometimes I also use to like apply the lashes. But I love this to like squeeze the lashes into my natural lashes. It works so good. It really opens up your eye. Not too much fallout. I just looked close under my eyes. There's like a little bit of the silver glitter, but I feel like it's just gonna fling off. Yeah. And look, from above, like your lashes look real low-key. I mean, if you know anything about makeup, you probably know that they're not real, but you would fool people because there's no lash band. Look at that. I'm trying to show you. I don't know if I'm in frame. Look at that. Stunning. Drink some water. I am obsessed. So it's like same but different to the look I did on my Instagram. Some of the elements are very similar, but oh my goodness, look how cool those two shimmers look. Like the purple reflect with the like very silver chunky glitter, and the purple one is a little bit more like metallic-y duochrome almost, whereas the other one's like chunky, you know, like it's a cool little contrast. Contour, I'm gonna take the Eater brush, tap it off. This is the She's Everything palette. Blend out that contour, and then whatever's left, I flick it. Flick, 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 flick. This brush still sheds like 10 years later. Bronzer. I do find I really like a warm bronzer when I'm wearing cool tone eyes. It makes everything pop more. It looks very intense, so if you don't like your makeup to look like makeup, then you might want to use something a little bit more neutral. But this is me we're talking about. It creates more contrast, and I don't know, it just makes me feel better, because if I don't have any bronzer on, I just feel like everything looks all wrong, you know? Now, by the way, these cluster lashes, you can reuse them, and it really doesn't matter what order you want to wear them in either. You don't have to be super careful, like, you know, to make sure that they line up perfectly, because just put them where your heart desires, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not super different. Totally reusable, they'll last ages. Just take them off carefully, make sure you gently remove the glue. I like to soak them in some warm water to like loosen up the glue first. I'm all about bang for your buck, reusability, making sure that, you know, you get your money's worth. I mean, they're cheap as shit anyway, but that's beside the point. Oh guys, I got Ultra tickets. Oh, I'm so excited. Wonder if I'll see any of you guys there. I feel like the eyes stand out so good with all the bronzer on. Okay, blush though. I do have some new ones from Colourpop. First, I'm just gonna mist my face again. My contour looks hectic today. Mind your business. I may have gone a little bit overboard, but it's fine. Picked out these two shades from the, I don't know if it was a Valentine's Day collection. This one's called Feelings Mutual, and this one's called Not Your Baby. Feelings Mutual, Not Your Baby. Slightly peachy, but I might actually just use a little blend of both and just see what happens. These are like a super shock, so they're like a creamy, powdery vibe, if you know, you know. I'm gonna use this Danessa Myricks Yummy Face 1.0, and I'm starting with the darker pink. I feel like I need quite a bit. This is gonna highlight as well, because it's got that shimmer. Whoa, that came out of nowhere. And then I want a smaller brush for the Not Your Baby color. Actually, I might use this Fenty Beauty foundation brush, because I can just kind of load it up on the tip, I reckon. That looks so pretty. And I'm gonna put it like on top a little. And then I'm gonna take my brush I use for my bronzer and blend the bottom of the blush. Circular motions like this, just so that it's quite lifted. I can't really see what this color looks like because we're applying it with the other one. Here's how it looks blended onto my hand. It looks like whatever on my hand. It's kind of hard to show because of the reflect, but woo! That's a bit more blush than I was anticipating today. It's a bit much. What do I do? It's just too much. Maybe I can try dusting a little bit of this on top. Might be a terrible idea. And then maybe a little bit of, I don't know, nice warm bronzer. I was not expecting, that just came out of nowhere. I'm gonna dry this, and then I'm gonna do a nice bright face powder under my eyes. And it's gonna probably get a bit cakey in here, but I do think it's probably gonna be necessary. I'm actually gonna use the pink, like more lilac kind of undertone of the Flower Nose powder, because you know, we're very golden today, so I can get away with it. I actually think that helped. Do I look caked AF? Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. Touch of this color right here. This is my most reached for highlight shade, because it's just perfect on top of no matter what. It's not picking up because my face is so caked in powder. Oh, my eyelashes just stuck together too. What a treat. I literally, I feel insane, but I'm hoping that, I don't know, I'm hoping it comes together better once, I don't know. In the collection there were these, so let's have a look inside. Plumping glossy lip oils. I love the packaging. Look how sick that is. This one is called Shine On Babe. It's like a cool toned light mauve. Then we have Everything's Good. It's a little bit darker. Oh, this one's leaked. I can smell the peppermint. Yeah, it's like, what's happened? Anyways, it's called Glow Through It. I'm not going to use that colour anyway. That can go back in the box till I can be bothered dealing with it. I'm going to go in with Dawn lip pencil from XO Beauty. I think that's going to be nice. Alright, that is Dawn on. Really nice like base, just like kind of contour my lips. I overline a little bit, and then let's try out the lightest one. This is Shine On Babe. Now these are like quite pepperminty, which I love. Oh. It smells like the, you know, the Buxom ones from back in the day. Packaging's quite messy though, like when you pull it out, it's got like such a big like that sometimes it drips, so just be careful if you're like opening it over your clothes. Feels amazing. You know what, I really like that color too. It's almost like a cool tone baby pink vibe. Like it's not baby pink, but like, you know, the effect you want with a baby pink. Yeah, basically the same as those old school Buxom plumping lip glosses. Like it doesn't really do anything, but it feels really nice and like minty fresh. Hamish always says that from when I first started dating him, when I used to wear like minty lip glosses. He's like, when we would kiss and my lips would get all like minty and peppermint, like he vibed that. And I don't deal with that information with you, with what you will, you know what I mean. I have brushes all over my chest. Ew. I love how that NARS brush just like never finished shedding. I feel like it all came together. The blush was a journey. I mean, it's still probably not quite perfect with the eyes, but that's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I love playing with ColourPop makeup. I love all of the collections they put out. I love how affordable it is. So it's just like a fun little one to do today, I think. Love, love, love that Hard to Get palette. Holy, it's so cool. I think you could do so many fun looks with it, especially if you're dabbling in a little bit more like cooler tone makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!